Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about population and its effects on society. Behind the camera is Udaya, on my right I have Eric, and on the left I have Alex. These two gentlemen are going to be explaining to us their findings on population and how population has led to environmental degradation and overconsumption has led to deterioration of our environment. Starting with Eric, what do you say about overpopulation?
I'd say the interesting issue about human population is in terms of an overgrowth is the fact that the main concern isn't so much, at least in my opinion, about the growth itself, but moreover the environment that it's happening in terms of the way we influence the environment. The In terms of the Amazon forest being chopped down, the Aral Sea in Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan being drying up over time from humans messing around with the flow of water and causing desertification there. Um, I was really like that's I guess the main issue there is the over usage of certain resources, very key resources, and over usage of it and abuse of it.
As a student of paleontology, I have noticed a lot of similarities between what is happening now and what happens in the past. In the past, there has been mass extinctions, and one of them was when all the continents came together to form one landmass. This one landmass allowed invasive creatures to spread across the entire planet, and they overtook native populations and they ate up all the resources. Plus, carbon dioxide was pouring into the air by the volcanoes that were erupting because of the one landmass. Now we can see a very good indication of what will happen because as people are traveling around, they have brought many animals with them, and so they have infiltrated a lot of environments with these invasive creatures. And plus, with the global warming happening, the water is being used up by lots of people, and it would cause a great desertification just like it did before.
And um, Eric, you were talking earlier about India and China and how they have overpopulation, and India, especially being an undeveloped country, of course, overpopulation has led to so many problems. What do you think about that?
I think that's another key issue with the human population is I guess, the location really of itself, overpopulation in certain areas. The distribution of population is very uneven. China and India, which are pretty significant examples of that in terms of too many people in one single, very tight location. They may be big countries, I think, but they aren't exactly big enough or easy enough to sustain that many people. I think and there's plenty of land in terms of the layout of Earth. I think for people to be distributed a lot further and a lot wider than it is now in terms of resources and usage, and just kind of the placement.
Yeah. So no doubt, of course, overpopulation has led to many problems. However, there should be ways of solving it. And in the second part of our assignment, we had to reflect on Bordeaux or Berlin. In this case, we took Berlin. And how do you think, Alex, how do you think Berlin would come up with a solution to the problem like this one, even though he did not necessarily talk about population? What do you think he would say in situations like this?
Berlin talked very much about how people want to be free, but they also need boundaries in order to make sure that they do not cause problems. I read in the end part of the essay that Berlin talked about how important education was. That a mathematician and a math student are not going to be thinking about math the same way. A math student would be bored by it, but a mathematician that knows a lot about math would find it easier and more enjoyable. That is more or less what we could do for the population. Instead of enforcing strict laws onto people, we could educate people on how our effects on the environment are very bad.
Yeah, and of course, like any other human being, we all do not want to be told what to do. We usually ask ourselves, why am I doing this? Or who is forcing me to do it? We all have a tendency of not wanting to be forced to do something, and that explains why if they put up strict laws, some people might just end up disobeying them because anyway, that's who we are. Alex, while winding up on this, what do you think are the solutions to the issue of overpopulation, and how do you think overpopulation is reducing population is gonna help our environment to conserve it?
Well, I thought very much like Berlin, by educating people in order to get them aware about the effects of population on the environment, we can lessen the increasing population's impact on the environment by telling people that it is a good idea to wash off boats. You can prevent transfer of unknowing animals and plants to other places of water. This would be very beneficial because many rivers and streams are being overchoked with these invasive plants and animals.
And Eric, what do you think about it?
I think that's definitely another issue, another thing to add to it is definitely the intentional as well as unintentional influence that we have in terms of I guess overexposure to other ecosystems and spreading things. Florida especially has suffered a lot of issues of people carrying or having a lot of pet snakes and releasing them into the wild. And what that ended up causing is, or actually causes effects, really, is people, or I guess really specifically the animals of the environment being influenced by that. And that's just the environment. Humans themselves tend to have a pretty negative influence on the environment in terms of, as I said earlier, the Amazon, the Aral Seas, and polluting the ocean with oil losses and everything, drops, and kind of just these issues that humans cause you know, unintentionally or intentionally damaging the environment, and also being a little bit self-destructive in terms of our resources that we need that we overuse or destroy.
All right, so we know that cars are one of the issues today because cars give off a lot of gas that has led to issues in our society. Do you think reducing the production of cars will help in that solving that problem, the problem of overexploitation, and because those gases, the green gases that are being given off by these cars have led to desertification in the long run. Do you think that if we reduce the use of cars, it's gonna help in that area, or is it just a wastage of time?
I would say, in terms of that issue, with cars, I think the real problem isn't so much like production of cars, but more of the redesigning of the cars in terms of the way they function, the way they release exhaust, the way they, I guess, really the way they use or needed in terms of gasoline being a necessity and causing a lot of exhaust and damaging the atmosphere and just having a lot of negative consequences as opposed to say electrical or some other alternative power. And I think the problem with that is the engineering put into those kind of cars they end up being more expensive, which kind of wards away people from wanting to buy them just because they want to be green, they want to be eco-friendly in terms of the way they travel and everything, but they don't have the money or the outsource to do that.
However, there's new advances in fuels where they use living creatures to create sort of like a resin to power cars. Now, the corn has been not very successful. There's other life forms that can make even more better fuels, and these better fuels can be used in place of these gasoline or diesel fuels that were is polluting the planet right now. And there's even a video that showed the conversion of a diesel car into a green car by simply adding a few extra parts to it. So it's not really a matter of price; it's a matter of acknowledging what can be done.
All right, so no doubt, of course, the issue of population has eaten everyone up in all countries of the world. And these are just a few of the readings, a few of what we know about population. If you want to hear more about this issue, tune in next time, same time. Thank you for listening. Again, behind camera is Udaya. On the right, I have Eric, and on my left, I have Alex. Bye bye. Thank you.